Dare you see Saw? Yes. With the 10th installment of the Saw franchise on the horizon, I wanted to play a game. That game is ranking every trap and test from a Saw movie, both on their own merits and their context in the film, and then placing them on a tier list for good measure. Today, we're looking at the OG movie from 2004. I know we're all bloodthirsty maniacs, so let's get on with it! My choice for the worst trap in the first film is the drill chair. This one could have been ranked higher if it had been given the same treatment as the other traps. I mean, drills coming at your neck while you're strapped into a chair is a simple but terrifying thought. But because the trap occurs in the middle of another set piece, it gets a little skipped over. We don't really know anything about the victim, Jeff, apart from his name, Jeff, or why he was selected as part of the twisted game. Common speculation links him to the pedo dentist mentioned previously in the film, hence the resemblance to a dentist's chair, and maybe even the use of drills.
You know, we arrested a dentist last week. We like to play with kids a bit too much.
That's still unconfirmed as far as I'm aware, but it would add some beneficial context to the scene. Also, Jeff doesn't seem to have his own method of escape, like the other traps, which makes it less interesting too. In 6th place, I'm going with the quadruple shotgun hallway trap, which I'll also place in the category of D. While it certainly achieved Jigsaw's goal and made Detective Singh lose his head, it's just a bit plain to be ranked any higher. I do appreciate Jigsaw's foresight to rig up not just one, not just two, but 4 bloody shotguns. Trigger that wire, and you ain't getting away unscathed. Would I be able to survive this trap? Absolutely. I always look at the floor when I walk around. Can't risk making eye contact with any weirdos in pig masks. Coming in at number 5 is Zeps Test. Zep. Zep. After he is inflicted with a slow-acting poison, Zep is forced to kidnap the wife and child of Dr. Gordon. If the doctor failed his test in good time, Zep was instructed to murder the 2 captives, in order to receive his antidote. That's pretty heavy stuff to ask of a man. Would I be able to carry out this test? No. I'd probably sneak off to a chemist first, before opting to hide in a child's cupboard for a few nights. That said, Zep seems to be enjoying himself a little, which puts a different spin on the proceedings. It's an important section of the plot, but I've never really enjoyed how it progressed into more action thriller territory. Even when I first watched the film at 12 years old, I felt it took away from the creeping mysterious side of the film. Still, his test ultimately ends with 2004's most satisfying use of a toilet. Number 4, Flammable Jelly. Not as yummy as it sounds, but still a decent addition to the movie. Victim Mark liked to pretend to be ill for his own gain, so he is also subjected to that pesky slow-acting poison. The antidote is housed in a safe, with the combination hidden amongst all the numbers sprawled across the walls. It's like a nightmarish version of Dr. Kawashima's brain training. Ooh, doesn't sound too bad, so the villains upped the ante by removing Mark's clothes and smothering him in the aforementioned scrumptious jelly. He also requires a candle to see, because it's very, very dark. The floor is also covered in broken glass. Jesus Christ, they must really hate this Mark fellow. It's a damn harsh task that doesn't affect the plot, but does offer another small, but important glimpse into this whole sick ordeal. Graduating up to the A category, we have the Razor Wire Maze. This trap functions in a similar manner to the Flammable Jelly, a short but sweet entry into Jigsaw's backstory. Victim Paul is a man who should be happy with his life, but he still attempted suicide via straight razor. Jigsaw tests Paul by leaving him in a maze of razor wire, while the only exit is under a time lock. I rate this trap so highly, as it is perhaps the best and clearest example of Jigsaw's motives in the original film. John Kramer's life is wasting away from a terrible illness, and you really feel the anger and contempt he holds for people like Paul, who are ungratefully throwing it all away. It is an appropriately ironic punishment for the perceived crime. It's cruel, while still being survivable too, if Paul had not panicked himself into an MTV editing frenzy. Credit to Jigsaw too, that must have been a bitch to set up. In second place, I choose the Reverse Bear Trap, one of my very favourite positions in the Kama Sutra. The victim and future killer nutjob, Amanda, must dig into an acquaintance's stomach to retrieve the key to the evil mechanism locked around her head. Simply put, this trap is iconic, thanks to the posters and trailers and whatnot. When I think of this film, it's not long before the image of the bear trap seeps in there. The scene as a whole really elevates the trap itself though, and I fully admit that plays a large role in my high ranking. Amanda's suffering is where we get our first real scene with Billy the puppet. The way that little shit's head turns towards the camera, and then how he rolls out from the shadows, oof, both shots scared the crap out of child me. The test is a nice ethical conundrum, like Zeps. It's not about harming yourself, it's a question of whether you can harm someone else for your own survival. Could I dig into someone's stomach? Probably not for recreation, but as part of a forced survival test? Maybe. If that crackerjack snack Amanda can pull it off, who knows? After all, you could just pretend you're playing with gummy worms. And lastly, that leaves the bathroom trap as my top choice. Well done. It had to be. In a way, the whole film is the bathroom trap. I love how it all progresses. The initial horrifying confusion, the slow uncovering of the truth, the little games within the game, all building to an exhilarating climax of foot dismemberment and one of the greatest plot twists in horror history. The bathroom itself now holds a legendary status in the series. It's held in nostalgic reverence like the Myers house in Halloween or Shadow Moses in Metal Gear Solid. Not bad for a disgusting grungy bathroom, eh? I'm not sure I would have fared any better than Lawrence or Adam, although I like to think my fake choking would have been better than that Buzz Lightyear display. Those are my opinions, but how would you rank the traps and tests from the movie that started it all? Please let me know in the comments below, and indeed shout if you'd like ranking videos for the Saw sequels. Either way, see you next time, friends of the Blowfish. I'm heading back to my seesaw. Game over.